Hi guys, Kevin here from the Nerd Cave. It's almost Easter, so today we're going to be building an alien egg out of one of these. I picked this egg up at Michael's probably a year ago wanting to work on this project, and I just haven't gotten around to it. So the first thing we need to do is empty this egg out. Sorry about that. That didn't work. I'm going to start by just roughing this up with some sandpaper. This is 100 grit. Just a quick wipe. Just latex should stick to it, but this will just help. Good enough. All right, I'm going to grab some tape and tape this back together, and then we're going to use a Sharpie to mark the top and cut where the egg opens. All right, I'm going to take my Sharpie, mark the egg about where I want to cut it. That looks good. Been using my Dremel with a plastic cutoff wheel. I'm gonna make the cuts. Don't forget your eye protection. There we have it. I'm going to grab a heat gun to bend these out, and I'll be right back. All right, got my heat gun. Start bending these out. I'm impatient. That's why I'm using this. All right, now that that's done, I'm going to go back with the Dremel tool, kind of round these edges just a little, and then we'll be ready for the latex. All right, it's time to apply our liquid latex. I've got a pair of gloves, container to put my latex in, a couple chip brushes. We'll need lots of paper towels. I'm actually going to do this part in time lapse because it's going to be a long process. All right, so we've got a pretty good base layer on. The paper towel I'm using is pretty textured. Yeah, you can see it in the video. I'm gonna let this dry overnight and then come back with smooth paper towel and start doing some of the detail. In one of my reference photos, I noticed the egg had some kind of lumps on it. I wanted to recreate that. So I drew some kind of egg shapes out on a piece of foam floor matting. It's a little thicker than I want, so I'm gonna take this to the bandsaw, cut these out, and then cut them in half too, the thickness of it. All right, I got them all cut out and cut down to about the size I want. I'm going to take my Dremel tool and kind of round around the corners. So let's do that now. All right, I got all my pieces dremeled. I don't know if you can really see, but just rounded over the corners a little. I did this really quick and rough. Basically, I just didn't want them all to look exactly the same. So now I'm going to take my heat gun and just kind of seal the edges and try to get rid of some of the little fuzzies. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue these on and add more paper towel and latex. I'll do these two tomorrow. I'm going to end up cutting them off once it dries, and then we'll see how it looks. All right, so it's the next day. Let this dry a little. Cut both of these bigger pieces off and glued one of them on. I'm going to go ahead and glue that one into place. Just using a little CA glue. Doesn't have to be glued on super tight because it's going to get covered. All right, so I'm going to continue to cover this, adding some more details, kind of like the parts that come down here, just building up the shape. You may have noticed in the time lapse me painting some of my extra latex onto the silicone mat that I'm using. I'll leave a link to the silicone mat down below. Basically, I'm making some nurnies out of this. Basically, just paint your latex on, let it dry, and start rubbing little holes in it. It's probably shaking the whole table. These are great for like zombies or bite marks. I'm actually going to be covering the part that opens of the egg with this. You just go ahead and kind of roll it around. Then once you're done, just take a little powder. The silicone, or not silicone, the latex sticks to itself. Just work it into the latex. And you can just peel off . Part you're working with. You have these great nurnies to add to any of your projects to make it look gross and disgusting. One other thing I didn't mention is I picked up a big package of these blue shop towels. They're just smooth paper towels. You can get cheaper ones. I went with blue so I can see where I'm covering. So let's get to work. All right, so I've got another coat of paper towels on here. And now I'm going to go in and start adding some details like little leg things coming off. Maybe some wrinkles and see if we can't get this finished up. One thing to note, this isn't going to be a movie accurate alien egg. One, the movie prop would be a lot bigger. It's just inspired by the alien egg. And one other thing, you might have seen me in the time lapse ripping the edges off the paper towels. It actually just helps hide it when you're putting the latex on it because it doesn't give any hard edges. So let's see if we can't get this thing finished up. I think that's all the time we're going to have for this week. Next week, we'll come back and paint it. I'm going to let it thoroughly dry, make sure there's no spots I need to cover with some more latex. Other than that, I think it's looking pretty good. So make sure to subscribe and join us next week. Thanks for watching.